This is The Journey with David Hackett.
Introducing our guest today, Kim. She is a trusted real estate agent in Larchmont, New York, with over 20 years of experience in the area. Kim's roots run deep in its vibrant community, having made Larchmont her own more than 2 decades ago. She understands the unique charm allure that draws people to this beautiful location. So, as well as being passionate about real estate, Kim is going to talk to us about her life and her journey today. Welcome, Kim.
Thank you so much, David, for having me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Now, journeys often start with I was born, and that's the joke I always have. Yes, you was born. That's the earliest memory possible. But when you was growing up, what was your memories that really started in your mindset to believe in your journey?
I mean, my particular memory of growing up, I have two older brothers, and they always protected me no matter where I went, no matter what I did. Even today, are you okay? Are you safe? Did you get home okay? And we lived a different life than we do today. There were no cell phones. If you left the house, you had to be home by sundown. And your parents really didn't know where you were or what you were doing. So it was a very, very different world than today. I was a housewife. My dad worked a few jobs to support us, and it was difficult growing up. We didn't have a lot. And I think the best response my father ever gave me when I told him I needed a prom dress, he said, "I can't afford it."
Yeah,
So he was like, "No, can't do it." The best response he ever gave me was no. And the only thing I needed to do to figure out was, how am I going to get this dress and how am I going to get money? Well, I have to get a job. So I wound up working, 3 to 7 every single day after school from Monday through Friday at the local grocery store. And then on weekends, I worked the 5 a.m. shift to 1 in the afternoon at a local bakery, so I can have the afternoon and the evenings off to be with my friends. So I worked really, really hard. And, that started my journey. That
yeah.
definitely started my journey.
And you talk about in those, because obviously I am 41, so I can relate to it. In those days, you had no phone. So you wasn't in constant contact with, oh, where are you? Where are you? It was a case of, in my situation, it was a case of shouting from where you lived, and you could be heard up the street because that's how small the street was where I lived. But it was a part of the community that everyone associated, oh, David's been called. And then if I didn't hear it, my friends heard it. So they said, David, your mom's calling you.
Absolutely. What about flicking the light? Do you remember that? The
Yeah,
outside light?
yeah,
My mom and dad used to flick the light if I wasn't home in time. They'd be like, "Your light is flicking." Or when I get home, I showed my friend that I flicked the light and I was okay. Yeah,
yes.
just good memories.
So, going into obviously being a teenager and obviously getting into your early 20s, did you feel like your opportunities were opening up a lot more? Did you explore your possibilities of what you like to do?
Um, my teenage life was a little awkward. I was on another podcast this past week. I guess we could have called it Our Journey. And I had gone through something really traumatic at the age of 16, which changed me for a few years and put me into just a little bit of a depression and negativity, maybe a little bit more alcohol and trying pot at the time. And I was just using all this paraphernalia, if you will, as a decoy and just trying to get through it. And then as it happened, my father couldn't afford to put me through college. So I went and got a full-time job right after high school. And that was at 18 years old. And I started with an amazing company that I stayed with for 30 years. They recognized me, they promoted me within, and my life started to turn around and change. And I stayed with them for 30 years, and I
Mm,
was extremely thrilled and happy when I decided that I needed to change my path, because I did start so young, and real estate was always something that I loved and enjoyed. And I always thought of it as a happy ending, right? Because that's what I want. I want to make people happy. I didn't
yeah.
want to feel that way anymore. And I'm glad I started that journey 11 years ago.
Yeah, and you touch upon, mixing the lifestyle that many teenagers and young adults do. Now, I'm not condoning it in a way because it's part of life, but that's the time where you could say it was your darkest moment because it's obviously you had to be part of the in crowd to say, accept me for who I am, even though there was troubles that could have been the reason why you did it. I accept that, but obviously it's just a difficult stage in life.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely is. And I don't think there was as much education on it as there is today,
Mm.
right? So, I mean, from whatever teacher, your phys ed teacher or your health teacher spoke about, they didn't talk really about that. Um, Families back then, at least my family, they would brush stuff under a rug and they wouldn't talk about it. So I figure if someone's smoking cigarettes, that might lead to pot, that might lead to other things, and you really need to have the conversation with your child and let them understand that it can get addicted very easily, pretty
Yeah,
quickly. And yes, I think trying to feel involved at that age is very important, but if you have really strong family to tell you friends aren't going to matter if you drink or smoke. If they're good friends, it doesn't matter what you're doing.
yeah, and the saying goes, they will love you no matter what you do or what you've done.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Totally agree with that. And the older you get, the more mature you get and the more you understand it. But it's hard to tell a 16 or 17 or 18-year-old that. It's very hard. And then have them listen.
That's the true expression. You can't always get them to listen, even if it's good, solid advice. They don't want to listen. So I will illiterate to the fewest listeners, you know, try it because they will listen. Even if it seems a struggle, they will listen in their own way and they will listen if you make it a certain way of describing it to them. Because if you just say, like, don't do it, they will still do it. You've got to give a
Right.
simple enough reason to give, don't do it because.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Exactly. You have to maybe show history or show what happened to this particular person. I call it scare the crap out of them.
I've heard of that expression, or there is another saying, but I'm being polite.
I'm
And
not.
it, I know, I can say it. SH1T. So, um, moving into your career where you are now, then, you feel like you've accomplished where you want to be and you want to carry on succeeding where you are now? Or is there other opportunities in your life where you feel like I should do that more or I could do this?
I am always the person that wants to do more and do better. And it's not because I'm not doing well. I'm always looking for that next step, that next level. I think I'm in a really great place in my career. I'm extremely successful. But I want to grow my business. I want to bring on new agents. You know, I want to sell more. I want to make more. I want more.
And that's a good determination. And obviously, you'll be sharing your links where people can get in contact. So if they do want to be part of your life and your journey, they can reach out to you, obviously.
Absolutely, absolutely. People who know me know that I'm a very caring and heartwarming person. I wear my heart on my sleeve. Like you could totally know when I'm happy, you could totally know when I'm sad, you totally know when I'm excited. But in the end, I do try and strangers, anybody, I really do try and bring happiness and a smile to as many people's lives as I can. That means a lot to me. My journey was a tough one when I was younger, and I didn't have that support, and I didn't know where the support was, and I fought it for myself for a long time. And I don't want people to know that. I want people to know that, but I don't want people to think that they're alone, that there are other people feeling the same thing and going through something similar, and you can talk about it, and it is okay.
Yeah. So going into the future, obviously, this including tomorrow or whenever you listen or watch this, what would you say to people to help them move into their journey?
don't give up. Just keep trying, whatever that journey is. It may seem like it's far away or nobody supports you, or you just take little steps and you'll get there. Don't give
And
up.
and ultimately, last question, because people will be screaming at the screen or hearing it. What is the best way of contacting you if they want to reach out to you personally?
Sure. Well, they can either call me on my cell phone, which is 914-419-9196, or my Instagram handle is Kim Giraputo, KIMGIARRAPUTO.
Tim, it has been a pleasure talking to you with your journey today. And I hope this short, informative podcast will help others with their journey.
I hope so too. Thank you for having me, David.
Thank you.